Welcome to the newest Scum University tutorial. By the end of this video, you should have a basic understanding of how to pick locks in Scum. Before we get started, I want to quickly invite you to join the Wolfpack Gaming community by subscribing down below if you're not already a Wolfpack member. Stick around to the end of this video for a tip on how to safely practice picking locks, allowing you to gain experience and level up your thievery skill without putting yourself in harm's way. There have been several changes to lockpicking across the many updates this year. This video was recorded on December 2nd, 2020, and to my knowledge includes the latest information for picking locks in Scum. As of this patch, lockpicking is no longer a nice-to-have skill set. I do believe that most players will need at least a basic understanding of lockpicking, as all gun lockers in police stations, bunkers, and the other POIs are now locked. If you want to find a weapon in Scum, you're probably going to need to pick at least one lock. We will start off with the current lockpicking tools. We have the new, smaller screwdrivers that have 3 uses, and then also on the left we have the old school screwdrivers, which are still 40 uses. There are 3 tiers of lockpicks. There are the improvised lockpicks, crafted out of bobby pins with 1 use each. There are the regular lockpicks in the middle with 4 uses each, and the advanced lockpicks each have 6 uses each. Depending on your loot table settings, small screwdrivers are found rather frequently, and the larger screwdrivers are more of a rare item. I personally have never had a problem finding lockpicks or advanced lockpicks in the past, and I'm almost certain they can spawn almost anywhere. I most frequently find them in garages, shop-like buildings, and in bunkers. I tend to find the 40-use screwdrivers in bunkers or POIs, and the bobby pins and boxes of bobby pins for the improvised lockpicks, and they're very common to find. Lockpicking is attributed to your thievery skill. As you level up your thievery skill, the time allotted to stay in the lockpicking animation increases slightly, which will give you a better chance of having a successful pick. There are several key factors that will determine how hard or easy the lockpicking operation will be. The quality of the lockpicks will determine how resilient the tools are to your errors. There are 3 tiers of player-placed locks. You have the rusty lock on the low end, the lock in the mid-level, and then the high-end enforced lock. For lockpicking purposes, the sweet spot of each level of lock decreases as the level of the lock increases. It is also worth noting that players can now place 5 locks on a door, which is up from the previous 3. That was upgraded on the Halloween patch in October. The game-placed locks on the police station gun cabinets, bunker armories, and the other gun cabinets in POIs are a little bit more forgiving for the new lockpicker. Players have 10 seconds to successfully gain entry, and the sweet spot seems much wider than any player-placed lock. There we go. I am by no means a good lockpicker in the game, and I was able to pick all 4 gun cabinets here in less than a minute. To start picking locks, you must have all the tools in your inventory and not just laying on the ground in your vicinity. Approach the locked door and then press and hold F or interact with the prompt as it shows up. Smelly Inferno dropped a tip on the stream last night. If you cannot get the pick lock prompt to show up, go ahead and try punching, kicking, or crouching and creeping near that locked door to get that prompt to appear. It did work several times last night on stream. I'm sure the devs will be fixing that very shortly. They're aware. Once you're inside the animation, if you decide not to pick the lock, you can press the escape key to back out with no penalty to your fame points. Pressing the space bar will start your timer and the animation of your lockpick. I prefer to tap the F key rather than to hold it, and I start quickly evaluating which way the sweet spot is by moving it from the 12 o'clock position to the 10 or the 2. If the screwdriver meets resistance to the first side I select, I release the F button and move over to the opposite side and make slight adjustments as I'm picking the lock. Once you figure out which side the sweet spot is on, move your mouse in a much less drastic movement to dial it in and defeat the lock. Keep in mind, if you fail the pick, you may get shocked if a player has placed lock protection on the lock, and that will affect your health. You will also lose a small amount of fame points, and the lock resets. If you attempt this lock again, even if you do not leave the animation, you're essentially forcing a different lock than you just attempted. I personally would like to see that change so it is persistent. In real life, the lock does not change if you break a pick, and you would be able to learn from the failure and try it again. I understand that there has to be a balance. That's just my opinion. Let me know in a comment down below if you think the lock should remain the same until defeated, or if it should change with each failure. I'd like to hear your input. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned a method to increase your lockpicking skill and level up your thievery skill without heading off to raid a player base that's riddled with enforced locks or going out to a highly contested POI while you're trying to learn a new skill. The Scum devs have added a lockpicking board to the crafting menu. You can craft the lockpicking board with a rubber band, nails, 3 padlocks, and a plank, but you must be in one of these workshop buildings or have crafted an improvised workshop. You can go ahead and craft the lockboard, and just with any inventory item, you can pick this up and carry it around. And it is a board with all of the locks on it. Kind of cool. We use these in the fire service quite a bit. And once you have it crafted and placed down, you can look at it, press the F button, and hit the pick lock. The lockboard practice is going to reflect your thievery skill and give you the allotted time, but it's going to accurately reflect a player lock on a door. From the looks of it, if you fail, you will not lose fame points, and you appear to have an infinite number of uses for practice on your screwdriver and your lockpick. If you do successfully pick the lock, you do earn points towards your thievery, and you can level up this way. I want to send a shout out to Ghost on YouTube for putting together the first lockpicking video that I was able to understand and learn from several months ago. I'm going to put a link to his channel in the description down below. Go check out his Scum content. Nice. A great creator. Thanks again to Wolfpack squad mate Smelly Inferno for his technical assistance, and to Roscoe Raven for setting up C3 Town so I could record this content. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please drop a like and consider hitting that subscribe button. The entire playlist of Scum University tutorials is popping up on your top left. Continue on to the next tutorial in the series on the bottom left. On your right is another video on the channel that YouTube thinks you may enjoy, and if you also enjoy strategy and simulation games, consider subscribing to my second channel showing up right now. Click any one of those links, and we will see you over there.